see how that is anything but a concussion if he's in the protocol.
Well, the argument was that he was getting choked a little bit on accident, not blaming anyone on that tackle. He got choked, pinched his nerve, he lost some oxygen to the brain, and that's why he was all wobbly. No, dude was staring off into space. That's a concussion.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're like that, it's a potentially bad one. I hope he's able to play, but I also hope he's able to play fully healthy. He's got such a wonderful career ahead of him that it would be stupid to rush back if he's not 100%. But yeah, without Mahomes, I think the Bills' chances go from I would say 40% chance
to 80.
Pretty much the 80% chance.
Yeah.
Especially with the way the defense has been performing.
And it's not like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is much of a real threat that we thought he was going to be. But I also, really quickly, while we're on the Chiefs, I just want to call out Colin Cowherd for being a piece of shit.
You don't need to do that. I'm letting you run through all of your scenarios and why the Chiefs are going to win. Just let me know when you're done with all that. And Colin Cowherd is a piece of shit. So go ahead, tell the story.
So Colin Cowherd said that if I'm the NFL, I delay the game, find out when Patrick Mahomes is healthy, and play it then. What? What kind of... if you do that, if you're the league and you do that, you're going to get fans to turn on him faster than they turned on Brady, faster than they turned on Aaron Rodgers. He's going to become the most hated player in the league because he's going to get the ultimate preferential treatment.
Well, no, that entire argument is utter bullshit because of the fact that this is football. Injuries happen. We don't prolong games.
Fuck it. Saquon's a top 3 running back in the NFL. Let's go back to week fucking 1 and delay the season.
Exactly.
Dak Prescott got hurt week 5. Let's delay the fucking season.
Tom Brady broke his leg one year. We didn't delay the fucking season. Okay, so stop with that fucking bullshit. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard. We're not delaying it because of a fucking global pandemic. We're not complaining because some guy's fucking head hurts.
The only thing would be shit, there's a blizzard, we can't play it on Sunday. So our options are we either move it somewhere else or we play it on Tuesday. That's the only logical delay. You know?
In a blizzard.
Right? If there were something like that. It
would have to be a blizzard to the point that people couldn't get to the fucking stadium.
Yeah.
The players couldn't get to the fucking stadium.
4 or 5 feet. Crazy shit. Yeah. So let's just Colin Cowherd, shut the fuck up. We're not delaying the game. If the NFL does delay the game, which again they're not going to, then I think I'm done watching the NFL. Because that's bullshit.
Well, because at that point you know that the NFL is playing preferential treatment. It would be bullshit. The NFL is never going to do that, especially with the way that they protect their fucking shield. It was a stupid fucking comment. It got him a bunch of fucking clicks, and good for fucking him.
He's never going to hear this. He's never going to hear this, but I fucking hope the one person that listens to this regularly is going to send him a clip of us saying this so he can respond.
He can suck my ass. I fucking hate that guy. I've hated him for fucking years. If he was an announcer, he'd be my worst announcer, and you all know how much I fucking hate Joe Buck.
Colin Cowherd's got to be the dumbest man in sports. The dumbest.
I don't know how he's employed.
Well, because he's got a smooth voice. I know his voice is kind of odd, but I really like it. I think it's a good voice. So he's got that going. But
we're not getting into fucking voice fucking feels.
No. He also is willing to say controversial shit like this that's not going to piss off people in the same way that a racially charged kind of controversy thing would be viewed, or not spewing hate at players.
No, that's fine, but it doesn't change the fact that he's a cunt.
Yeah, he's fucking stupid.
Everything that he says is fucking cunty. I can't stand that guy.
I'm gonna retract the statement I made first year of this podcast. The women of Hartford, you're no longer the yard goats. He's the fucking yard goat. Fuck him.
Yeah, all right. So now that you gave all the reasons Kansas City's going to win, I'm going to tell you why Buffalo's going to win. One, if you looked at Buffalo, their defense was ranked terribly against the run. The one thing the Ravens could do was run. And you know what? They took that element away. They put it into Lamar Jackson's hands, and they would not let him scramble out of there. They had a great game plan. If they can do the same thing, we know that Buffalo's strength on defense is their secondary, which is exactly what you need if you're going up with Kansas City. Furthermore, I would venture to say Kansas City in the last 10 weeks has not looked like the fucking Kansas City that we saw last year, where they were dominating everybody and completely coming back and being able to score at will. I don't think that will happen against Buffalo, because they will be able to. Buffalo has a bend but don't break mentality. They're willing to give you the yards, but you're not going to score. And if you do, you're going to have to do it in field goals, and we're not going to give it up to you in the red zone. If Buffalo plays that game with the way that their offense has been playing, they have a legitimate chance to be able to control the pace of the game and control the scoreboard as well, Mahomes or not. Not to mention Mahomes, we're talking about this concussion or pinched nerve or whatever it may be. There's no way he's 100%, nowhere close, because he's also dealing with a foot issue. And if he can't scramble the way he does, look at what Buffalo did to Lamar Jackson when he tried to get out of the pocket. They weren't buying it. They weren't fucking selling, or weren't being sold on the run. They were taking him down. They're going to give Mahomes the same amount of respect. They're just going to give more protection back on the secondary. I'm telling you, Buffalo wins.
The Bills did exactly what I said last week. If they wanted to beat the Ravens, they need to let the corners play one-on-one and have a safety over top and a safety spy Lamar. They fucking did. Lamar didn't run. Did Trey White get beat a little bit? A couple times, yeah, but it wasn't so bad, obviously. They ended up winning 17-3. So
we talk about, and this was proven, again, we talked about this last week, and I went 2 for 2 because I went Cleveland, and I still think that Cleveland could have won the game if it wasn't for that Henny bullshit, and we'll get into that. But we talked about Tampa Bay and New Orleans. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. Yes. It's also hard to beat a team that you don't see very often twice in a year. Buffalo saw Kansas City, and Buffalo did not get blown out by Kansas City. And if you look at Kansas City's recent track record, Mahomes has been making mistakes. He's been throwing bad balls. He's been getting picked. And the way that Buffalo's playing right now with that huge interception and being opportunistic on what should have been a fumble in the Indianapolis game, if Kansas City makes some mistakes, they can find themselves in a position that they do not want to be in against the Buffalo team that isn't going to be the Texans and allow themselves to blow a 21-point lead.
Okay, before we move on, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, do we all agree that in that Buffalo-Kansas City game, the most important player on the field is going to be Josh Allen?
Of course.
Because
he's going to dictate what happens.
Mahomes can play well.
Offense.
Mahomes can
actually say. I was actually going to say it's Stephon Diggs, but I could see no. It's going to be Allen.
Allen needs to stand in the pocket. He's going to have real pressure coming at him. He needs to stand in the pocket and deliver lasers, and when it's smarter, escape the pocket and use his legs. Pat Mahomes is going to have that regardless. If he plays, he'll have. I understand that Stephon Diggs is really good, but Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, John Brown is not Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce.
I still kind of agree with BB here because of the fact that maybe it's not necessarily Stephon Diggs per se, but the wide receivers, I don't have faith in the Kansas City cornerbacks, and as you've watched this entire season from Buffalo's perspective, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs did not get a lot of time to gel. You've literally watched it happen during the season to the point that I watched Josh Allen point to Stephon Diggs and just point up and then hit him on a fly route. Like, if that's going to be the situation, I don't think that Kansas City has the secondary to be able to match that.
No, I agree. And that's where my point came in earlier. If you're the Bills, you're going to have to rely on offense to win this game for you, which is weird because all season they've relied on defense. This game, they need to rely on offense. And
well, I think they need to rely on offense, and they need the defense to come up with big plays. Let me put it this way. If the defense can force a turnover or two and the offense is clicking, the game's over. It's Buffalo's.
Right.
Yeah, but Allen he's got to know when to get rid of the ball, so that's going to be crucial. He can't.
Yes, but he's been getting better at that. I mean, you have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean, I don't know. I didn't see any elite offense, as Dan already mentioned, in that game against the Ravens, against a non-elite defense. So
yeah,
I
that's
think there's reason for worry on both sides.
that's my biggest issue.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, I think, assuming Mahomes plays. If not, I don't see how Kansas City has much of a chance. But assuming Mahomes plays, I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game because this is a much different team than the Ravens' offense, where you can spy Lamar and you don't have to worry too much about his arm beating you.
You're definitely going to need safety help.
Any which way.
The corners are going to need the safeties.
Yeah, and I think Andy Reid is a better coach than Harbaugh. And I think he's going to adjust better to what the Bills, throw at them, especially offensively, especially what the Bills' defense throws at them, and adjust the offense accordingly. So I still favor the Chiefs, assuming Mahomes is healthy.
All right, let's move on because we'll get to that in a few minutes. But let's move on and talk about the games on Sunday. Browns Chiefs, as we said, Pat Mahomes went down with an apparent neck injury / concussion / the league doesn't know, so why should we debate it? Really good game. Baker Mayfield he's actually pretty damn good.
I solely believe if it wasn't for the Henny run and putting it in 4th and 1 and then going for it when no one expected them to go for it.
With a pass.
Yeah, nonetheless. Although it was a great design play and it was super smart to catch everyone off guard. Like, I give all the credit in the world to the play calling and everything that happened there. But if that doesn't happen and Baker gets the ball, I'm very inclined to believe that Baker's going to march down the field and score and win it for Cleveland.
Yeah, but what ifs are a dime a dozen. What if Mahomes doesn't get injured? Then that never happens.
You're right, but being put in that situation, I can see what I'm saying is I am seeing the faith and the belief that if I'm a Cleveland fan, you found a quarterback that you actually feel like in the last seconds could win us a game.
Baker showed tremendous poise in really this whole season, especially in that Steelers game, and then against a very difficult Kansas City team. He's growing before our very eyes, and might be a top quarterback in the future.
Just his swagger alone, just watching his body language when they're going for it on 4th down, like, I just imagine him looking at a confused defense when they're going for it on 4th and 4. And he just looks at him and says, if you don't like it, stop me. And they can't. They didn't. You know what I mean? He looked completely different.
That he walked walked into Ohio State with when he played them and planted the flag, and now he's doing it for the state of Ohio. A lot of people who are Ohio State fans and Cleveland Brown fans have probably forgiven him for that bullshit.